Hello everyone, and a warm welcome to all of you people. And I welcome everyone to the demo, that is MLOps demo. So I'm your trainer Siddharth. May I request Raja to can you please mute yourself? Okay. So I'm myself trainer Siddharth, and before we get started, I have about total 10 plus years of working experience into various roles. From DevOps engineering, I started my career, and I have been working with machine learning solutions where I have played a role play of building pipelines for machine learning using DevOps. So that's how I started my journey with MLOps, and I am now a full-time MLOps engineer working with the clients, where my role play is to build CI/CD pipelines that are capable to get various models developed, built, and deployed into production into various cloud providers. So I'm a certified machine learning engineer as well. I have working experience of 8 plus years into the machine learning modules also. Yeah, that's about myself. And coming to the demo, I'm going to go ahead and talk about why there is a huge need for MLOps, and why is that companies are looking for ML engineers like us, MLOps engineers like us. Okay, so before that, let me take few minutes to define what is MLOps. So to understand MLOps, we need to understand what exactly the two keywords in it. Then you will be able to understand those two keywords together with the help of the definition of MLOps. So the full definition for MLOps, or the full length definition for MLOps, stands out to be machine learning operations. Now, what is this MLOps has to do in terms of machine learning and operations? So it's a kind of process where companies take into consideration to target two set of domains. One domain for machine learning, where machine learning engineers basically write the code, who are called developers. Basically, they are the one who develop the code, and the operations team are the one who deploy that models. So the combination of two keywords makes MLOps possible. That is, ML, the one who builds or develops the model, and the ops is the one who gets it deployed. It means who makes it deployed into a location like a cloud service or to a cloud provider. So the company is looking forward for hiring people like us on basis that company is trying to go and build some model, and they are expecting engineers who can deploy that model. Okay, now participants, what I'll do, I'll give you some examples that becomes very easy for you to understand, and then it becomes very useful for you to relate the deployment. So you might have come across this uh, red bus. So red bus is a very popular organization where it is responsible for booking tickets. So let me give this example so that it becomes very easy. So every one of us used it. Even I use it when I have to travel from Bangalore to Kerala, and when I want to go to my hometown in Kerala. So what I do, I go ahead and book it from Bengaluru, and I book it from to Kochi. So let's say today I want to go ahead and book it. I would like to do search for it. So I'll get searches happening here. Now let's assume that the company Redbus wants to go ahead and see that how the bookings are happening, and the Redbus wanted to go ahead and build a model that should go ahead and tell that this is the best bus that can take you to the location where you want to go, and it should be able to go ahead and give me predictions for the price. Participants, this is a price that I am get to see if I go ahead and book from this particular line travels, Dreamline Travels. It cost me about $1,000 to travel from Bengaluru to Kochi. Now imagine company like Redbus want to hire a machine learning engineer, Redbus machine learning. So currently they are using, this is one of their projects that they are trying to do. So that is the reason, or if you look into their careers, they have this project. So let me go ahead and give you their one of the projects that they hired. So let me look for machine learning. Yeah. So currently they have data science. So if you look at their models, so what they do at Redbus, we go beyond analyzing existing data sets and building models. We are dedicated to discover fresh and intuitive approaches to utilize data throughout these operations. We harness the power of machine learning and deep learnings to drive enhancements, combining technology experts to redefine the future booking. So what they do, they go ahead and spend time in building real-time dynamic pricing. Understand this word, remember this word. I'll use real-time dynamic pricing, recommendation engine. Please remember this word. Demand estimation, reinforcement learning, and pricing strategies, user personalization, network planning, and enhancing multi-model connectivity. Now, these are various machine learning that will help you. Now, let's pick one thing. Let's pick recommendation. There I saw mentioning recommendation engine. Now, this is something I want you to memorize this word. Let's talk about the recommendations they have and what is that recommendation has to do with the machine learning and how it is possible inside your concept. So let's understand this recommendation engine. Now what is recommendation engine? Recommendation engine means something that will go ahead and tell that you go ahead and take this route. That will go ahead and tell you to take this route. So what is that it is telling me is that if I go to Redbus and if I start booking from Bengaluru to Kochi, okay, and today if I go ahead and do a search, it should go ahead and recommend me that along with the buses that you have chosen, you can go ahead and look for some discounts that are available. See, it is recommending me that you also go ahead and try this, you try this, you try this, you try this. So a lot of other recommendations are mentioned. Why? Because based upon the keyword search that I've done from location, drop location, and what I've done the search. See, it is giving me recommendations of a deal. Participants, are you with me, everyone? Can you see there is a deal for me? There is no deal for me. There is a deal for me. So, everyone, have you understood that red bus, when I go ahead and give the inputs from Bengaluru to Kochi, I'm getting recommendation for the booking along with some discounts that are available in the form of recommendation. It is recommending me that you can go and book this so that you will get some location. You will get for this location, you can go and book this, and along with this, it is giving me a discount. So, participants, have you understood what is recommendation engine? It is recommending me something. Everyone, are you with me? So, who is doing this? Your machine learning, your model is doing it. Now, how did the model learn? Because model has been built all these years. That means over a period of time, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years of data might be collected by Redbus. Redbus might have collected from the past 5 years, maybe from 2019 till date 2024. How many people have traveled from Bengaluru to Kochi? All those details they might have in their database. Location Bengaluru, drop location Kochi, date, time, price, location, everything. These all details are available for them. So once these details are available, what they do, they go ahead and write a code for it. What is that they do? They look a code for it. So let me explain you with a simple example. What I'll do now, I go ahead and take these details now. I prepare a data which is called data set. What is a data set? In this data set, I'll go ahead and say pickup location, pickup location, drop location, number of passengers, that is passengers, comma, date, time, okay, what was my uh, bus organizer, or what they call it as dealer. For now, let's keep it as a word dealer or vendor. How much is the price or distance in kilometers price. So they might have collected data about it. So let's assume that they have collected some uh, 50,000 records. 50,000 records. Record means the number of entries. So they have collected from the year 2019 to 2024. So how many records? 50,000 records. Now this is what we call it as a data set. Participants, everyone, are you with me? Hello? Participants, everyone, are you with me? So this is what we call it as a, yes. So this is what we call it as a data set. Data set is nothing but a collection of your data with all these details. Now, what I want to do is, now if I'm a machine learning engineer, what I do is I'll go and see how price is dependent on the number of passengers, date, or it should be somewhere around distance, because I see what date, or that date will be very leastly impacting, but distance is something which will greatly impact, and the number of passengers. So I want to understand how can I go and give him the best discount based upon the number of passengers that are traveling, the distance is traveling. So majorly the distance is a very important location to be considered, parameter to be considered to decide it. Now what I'll do, I'll go ahead and write a Python code asking, hey Python, can you check how price is dependent on the distance that a passenger travels plus the number of passengers. I'm asking how price is relevant. how price is relevant to this distance and passengers. For now, for this example or demonstration, let me go ahead and say that after writing a Python code, I found price is equal to, or the price of the ticket, ticket price, ticket underscore price is equal to the distance that is traveled is some, say, 5 times the distance that is traveled plus some constant value, or some 2 times the passenger plus some constant value, 1000 bucks. Everyone, are you with me now, people? Hello? Now I could go ahead and find, or with writing a code, I could get to see that the price that I can go ahead and give to my customers is 2 times the distance that I have to travel plus the number of passengers plus some value. So hypothetically, let's say, let's test it. Let's test the next example. So the distance that I have to travel, I've given and give distance is around, say, some 700 kilometers. Number of passengers is equal to, now it's only me that I'm traveling alone. And the ticket price that I should get, ticket price is equal to 5 times 700, 5 times the distance that is to travel plus 2 times the number of passengers plus some 1000 bucks. 7 5 3500 plus 1000 plus 2 times 1 is around 2. So it is around 4500 approximate. I got a price. So this is the best price that I can go ahead and offer to my customers. Is that very clear to all of you people? Participants, now I am able to come to a conclusion that this should be the price for my model. Now my model is nothing but a Python code that could go ahead and retrieve the price of the ticket should be 2 times, 5 times the distance that is to travel plus the number of passengers plus some constant value, 1000 bucks. So I'm able to do now predictions. I'm able to do prediction for it. Now what I'll do in order to go ahead and sell it, what I'll do is selling price. I'll go ahead and say, hey, its actual price is now 5500 is now the price, and I'll show to my customer we are giving you 1000% discount if you book it ready made, which you will get it for 4500. Or I'll go ahead and say you are getting a discount of 500 if you book it, now the price is 5000 INR. So the actual price is 4500, but to my customer on the website I will display 5500, ask him to book immediately to get a discount of 500. I'm selling it 5000. Still I'm making a profit of 500. So that's how any company will go ahead and decide any model, and that model will be helping them to go ahead and decide how to develop a model, how to get that model developed. So participants, now you are able to understand what exactly the benefit of developing a model. So what is that we could go to see? So the 50,000 records for the last 5 years, they have taken in the form of a data set. That data set, they wanted to go ahead and look for the price, how the distance travel and the passengers. So they found that the ticket price that they should offer is 5 times the distance plus 2 times the passenger plus some constant value, and they could go ahead and get to see the ticket price. Now they are using it to sell it on website, selling on website. How they will sell it on website? They sell it on website saying that the price is around 5500. You apply a discount, you get 5000, but actual price is 500. So what is their profit per ticket? Profit is equal to the sold amount minus the actual price, which is 500 per ticket. This is how they make money. And imagine making hundreds of thousands of tickets per day. their revenue will go. But assume that if this is not the right amount, let's say this amount they have predicted is some actual amount is now 6,000. So 6,000 means they are making not profit, but they are making a loss of $1,000 per ticket, 1,000 INR per ticket. So what is that you should have? You should have a right model to develop. That is why they want people who can help them to develop models. So participants, now you understood, if model development goes, instead of running profit, it's like they are putting from their pockets. For every ticket book that is done by Redbus is giving $100, 1,000 INR from their pockets. Nobody will do business, right? Taking money from their pockets. Participants, am I good now? Am I good with this example? Okay. Now, once this is done, yes, please. Now, once this is done, they go ahead and call it this. The model that can do predictions is called model. A model is nothing but the Python code, which can, for now, since I'm using Python, so I'll highlight called Python code that can predict. I'm able to do prediction for the price for this model. Now comes how to deploy this model. Question is, we have developed this model. So Redbus have finally developed this model. The developer at the, so this is what we call it as develop the model. Model development is done. We could code and develop the model. Now, who will deploy this model? See, what is the benefit if you have developed it but you cannot use it? Now, the CEO of the Redbus wants to go and see how pricing is done. CEO of the company wants to go and see. So they want to apply it. That means the customer should be able to go and take a benefit. The model should go and tell, hey, you go and get this recommended. It should go and start recommending him. You take this you take this price, you'll get a discount. Some kind of model should be, some kind of use should happen. That model should be used by people, right? So how to deploy it? That means there should be a server or servers in cloud. For example, we are using AWS cloud. Redbus uses AWS cloud. So they should go ahead and make it available in a location of servers. They should go ahead and place all the data in the cloud servers. So where they will go ahead and make it. So AWS cloud has to go ahead into the AWS cloud. They have to go ahead and deploy it. Now to do deployment, they need to go ahead and follow the practices of CI/CD. Basically, they need to go ahead and take the concept of DevOps. So now let me show you people. Redbus uses DevOps model to go ahead and deploy it. So DevOps by Redbus. Redbus currently focuses on building the CI/CD model involving DevOps. I'm not sure about any uh, particular, but I have been doing DevOps with the CI/CD model. So they are having opportunities, but I won't the DevOps part. And let me show you the CI/CD model they use. Yeah. So this is one of a person, I guess. So he's part of DevOps and he go ahead and use DevOps into his skill set. So what is this they do? They go ahead and build solutions. In DevOps, they go ahead and build solutions and they go ahead and deploy the application. So So lead DevOps engineer at Redbus. So Vinay is a lead DevOps engineer at Redbus with 10 years of experience that he's leading the DevOps engineering at Redbus. So now let's assume that Vinay is called and Vinay is called to go and deploy this model. So Vinay will go and build a strategy that yes, I'm okay. So let's go ahead and get the all the data with regards to the data into the cloud provider into S3. So cloud storage S3 for model development, cloud storage S3, and when it comes to code that is written, let's go ahead and place it into GitHub. Okay, and when it comes to the build process, since it's Python, so they go ahead and build using Jenkins. Okay, and as part of the deployment they will go ahead and use a container environment involving dockers and kubernetes. Okay, and they will go ahead and deploy it into the local into the environment of containers with regards to dockers and kubernetes. Code with regards to GitHub, build Jenkins, Docker containers, and the cloud they will continue to code and use is AWS cloud. Now scan, all that information will be taken care. So now people see the lead DevOps engineer is expected to go ahead and build a solution. Is trying to build a solution that we will go ahead and use containers to go ahead and build container orchestration environment involving machine learning. So machine learning involves various stages: model development, model deployment, model training. So what is that they want to do is they want to go ahead and develop the model and take that developed model and deploy it into environment. So now what is that summary I want you to understand is here is that machine learning engineers are working hard. That means who develop the machine learning ML model. Now we have the DevOps guy who is who deploys the build ML model. So now we have a new generation DevOps engineer, ML skills plus DevOps skills put together. Welcome everyone to the MLOps engineering job role. Is that very clear to all of you people? Now you see who is an MLOps engineer? A DevOps engineer who is getting transformed his skills, not just to build and deploy a code, but to take the machine learning code, build, test, and release the ML code. So participants, everyone, are you with me? Hello?
Yes, Siddharth, but what's the difference in ML codes? Like I thought machine learning models are developed by the data science team, right? They will train, they will develop the models.
Correct. I never ignored that fact that they will develop it. The one who develop can be done by basically done by machine learning. Machine learning team consists of data scientists who will develop the model. So the people who completely work on. So it is that the data scientists, machine learning engineers develop the model, whereas the DevOps engineer who was earlier deploying the applications, now he will focus on deploying the machine learning applications. That's how a new regime started called MLOps engineering. Helpful?
Yes, and they will use the same CI/CD tools like the Terraforms, Jenkins, Jira.
Correct.
Or
GitHub,
yeah,
Jenkins, Kubernetes, Docker, Cloud. So they will tune this way of deploying. They make sure that these tools continue to do their job, but not only for deploying, but also for automation. They want to get it automated. So what is that they want to go and achieve on automation? Now, if you go and break all these stages and make them as part of a continuous loop, so it all starts by making sure a data gets properly exploratory data analysis. That means they go and spend, like, let's break down into two parts. First part of it, they'll go and collect the right data. What is the data that I've talked about? Let's assume that this is the data that I got from the data set involving the location, pickup, drop, all that piece of information, price, distance. So they'll go and thoroughly inspect the data. They'll start making the data preparation. That means the data that is available for me will turn into the data set will turn into a data frame. What is data frame? Data frame in simple sentences, your code, Python code can understand. Instead of having CSV files, data will be stored in the form of data frames. Data preparation, cleansing the data that is not required. Like, we have the location like Bangalore. So now the problem with the names is machine do not understand the names. And I said Kochi. So the problem is, sorry, machine do not, yeah, machine do not understand the words Bengaluru, Kochi. So in order to make machine understand, we go ahead and vectorize it. For example, I go ahead and put Bengaluru as 1 and Kochi as 2 numbers. That's what we call it as string indexing. That means we go ahead and give for every string that we come across a indexer, string indexing in machine learning. So this is how we go ahead and make thoroughly all the data into such a number that machine can understand those numbers. Then we will focus completely on developing the model. Now once the model is developed, or let me put a light on this model. Develop means for all the data that we have, we try to make something fit. Remember this word. The best thing that you can see in the world of machine learning is we try to fit everything into a system. What we do is we try to fit everything into a system. See, what I want is you have data with you. You have your data with you. Now, a machine learning engineer, why he is smart? Because he tried to fit something into this data, or he will try to build something that can fit this data. Best example I'll give you. If I go ahead and say my x is 1, if my y is 5, okay, I want to fit it in a straight line. For example, if y is equal to 5, the value of x is equal to 1, I want to fit this into a straight line. So how can I fit this into a straight line? Y is equal to 5 somewhere here on here, x is this. So I want to go ahead and fit these 2 points in a straight line. So this could be a best fitment of a straight line. Because 5, 1 comma 5. This is the best point that can connect these, right? So what could have been 2 times the input, or some say 2 times the input of 1, or let's say 4 times the input of 1 plus a constant value 4x plus 1. That means if you go and replace x as 1, so 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is equal to 5, which is a straight line that meets the value of x, the value of y. So y is equal to 4 times x plus 1 is the current relation that makes a best fit on the data that is given to. Correct me everyone. Participants, see, I have two data points, 1 and 5. Machine learning engineers are smart enough because they try to go and see what can fit between x and y. What is that can between x and y? That's what they call it as fitment. Remember this fitment. This is something that they will develop in their development module, that what makes the best fit. See, there can be multiple fits also. It's not necessarily it should be only this fit, but there can be multiple fits as well. It could have been something like this: y is equal to x plus 4. Y could have been x plus 4. So phi is nothing but 1 plus 4. Replace x by 1, this also becomes phi. But now what I want to do is I want to make a best fit. Is 4x plus 1 or x plus 4? So this is what a machine learning engineer always attempt. So with this, what is that we are able to understand? The machine learning engineers are developing the models. But to make the model better, they make it to train again and again, again and again, again and again. One time, see, when you do training, maybe you will get an outcome, but accuracy is something that I cannot go and guarantee. I need something to do one more time in evaluation. So every time I do an iteration with regards to training, I'll make my model best. So there will be a point where my model is the best with regards to accuracy. Then it is time for me to call the hero MLOps engineer who will go ahead and focus on deploying that model. The hero of the story. He will go ahead and focus on deploying the story. So if he deploys it, it is available at it is available for everyone to use it. Inference means I would like to go ahead and refer to that instance. That's what it is called, inference. Refer to that instance. Instance, for now you can understand, a cloud instance where your model is ready to, where the model is deployed and it is ready to use. Refer that instance. That means my model is now available to be used by all the Redbus users. That's why I'm able to go ahead and get recommendations on booking from Bengaluru to Kochi. I'm able to get recommendations. Why I'm able to get recommendations? Because the model is working hard now. Instead of human making it possible, it is now recommending discounts for me based upon the choice. Whatever the choices I go ahead and use, I'm getting recommendations. Why? Because the best fit model is being developed by the machine learning engineers at the Redbus, and the DevOps engineering team made it possible and it is available for them to use. I hope participants, this explanation has helped you to understand the machine learning engineer module of MLOps. Participants, are we good? So participants, have you understood? So the data turns into a model. That model is now deployed by the DevOps engineer, becoming now so-called as MLOps engineer. That's how MLOps engineering has a role to play in your day-to-day life. Now, participants, to make this happen, there are a lot of technologies that are working in the background to make it possible, like Python transformations, model development, model deployment, containerization, cloud, Kubernetes, Kubeflow. So these are the modules that are working in the background. So that is part of our syllabus into the machine learning MLOps. So in order to build a skill of MLOps, the essential skills that you need to garner to be called as an MLOps engineer starts from understanding the concepts of machine learning, Python learning, data science learning for Python, followed by certain Git learning. Then actual learning is all about how to develop a model, how to train a model, how to deploy a model, followed by Dockerization, containerization, Kubernetes, Kubeflow, module development, and there is another segment parallelly working to the Kubernetes with regards to big data processing. Apache Spark offering is MLflow, and then building the CI/CD pipelines and then monitoring. So what is these skills? What are these skills? These skills are predominantly going to make you to move from whatever the skills you are right today towards MLOps engineer. That means you will become an MLOps engineer with these skills. How? Because you understood what is a machine learning, what is an ops, what is the Python code that is used, how to go and build a model, how to go and deploy a model, how to go and Dockerize it, how to go and deploy into Kubernetes environment, the Kubeflow environment. Then you are trying to go and manage the experiments. Then you are trying to go and deploy it with MLflow and build a CI/CD model, and you go ahead and monitor it. So with that, you are building all the essential skills to be called as an MLOps engineer.
Siddharth, how much expertise do we need in Python?
We'll
What level of
definitely take We'll take your questions. Yes, I will definitely consider taking that question as well. So participants, have you understood the learning path first? All of you participants, have you understood the learning path? Everyone? So the learning path should be right from Python to Docker's container, Kubernetes, yeah, Python, machine learning, Dockers and Kubernetes, then Kubeflow, MLflow is something that you need to build as a learning path. So participants, everyone, are we good? Can I have a confirmation from all of you? Participants, can I have a confirmation from all of you? Okay. Now I'm ready to take your questions so that you can ask me questions and I'll take your questions because the primary aim was to go and give you a learning path. What is that learning path all about for the MLOps engineer? So I've received the first question. So the question is how much of Python is required? So Python is the world's easiest language. Very simple, very easy. Anybody can go ahead and understand it. Assuming that if you are coming from a background of programming where you know Python, it's going to be an advantage for you. But if you are not into Python, then basic understanding of Python syntax, basic understanding of, yes, please go ahead. Okay, so let me answer the question. So in order to go ahead and build your skills towards MLOps, Python is a very essential language and world's easiest language to get started. Most of the development is done Python, so Python becomes as an easy option for you to get started. Now coming to the learning part involving Python, Python is easy to understand. So syntax is something that if you go and make an attempt to understand, it becomes easy for you to understand. And the major crux in Python is all about the libraries that you need to understand. So libraries, what is in NumPy, what is Panda, what are graphs, libraries, scikit-learn. So these are essential libraries beyond the learning of Python that are essential. So what I'll do, I'll go and give you at regular intervals of time during the training program, along with the skills of Python, with the basic skills, some libraries that are essential for you to do model development and model training is something that I will go and take care. So if you understand very basic knowledge, or if you even have the very basic knowledge of looking at a Python code and understanding, that's a sufficient for us. So you need to understand what is basic in terms of Python functions, how to go and read a function, how to go and read a file, how to go and, so if you understand these very basic, then it becomes easy for you to go for easy for us to go ahead and take your learning towards the data science. So it's very important. This module is most important because we will take into consideration the key libraries that are required for machine learning. So this is something which you need to thoroughly prepare for. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Sachin.
Thanks, Siddharth.
Yeah. So I have a question from Jason. Do MLOps engineer have same roles and responsibilities as ML engineers or data scientists? See, thank you very much. That's an awesome question. I appreciate it, Jason. So participants, the MLOps engineers or the domain of MLOps is just like very new, almost not even maybe I guess 5 years now, but it's still evolving. It's still evolving. So if you go into an organization, there is a very great chance that the job roles might be overlapping one with regards to the other. So to answer this question, there is no definite rule that this MLOps engineer has to do only this job, or the DevOps engineer is only to required to do. But very basic line, a thin line stands between is that ML engineers, data scientists, basically they develop their model. That means they write the basic application code while developing the model. That is the base rule. Whereas the DevOps engineer is required to go and deploy that model. That's how a thin line stands between the machine learning engineers, data scientists versus the DevOps engineer, the MLOps engineer. If you understand this line, I'm sure you will understand rest of the other things. Hope Jason, you got the answer.
Hi, uh, how much machine learning knowledge is actually needed for MLOps role?
Okay, so to answer your question, the same question from Jason can be iterated. That means, does the role play of machine learning engineers overlap with the MLOps engineer, or MLOps engineers roles respond? So to answer this question is, from my side, if you want a clear cut answer, 30% of the knowledge is some could come from machine learning. That means you should understand what is machine learning, what is model development, what is model deployment. This is something which is essential, but 70% of the knowledge for an MLOps engineer should come from the deployment skill. That is model development, build, storage, artifact, containerization, automation, deployment. This is his 70% of the skill. So what I'll try to do, as I mentioned, as much as possible, we will go ahead and garner all the skills towards the machine learning or data science, because there is no data science for us in our project. So we ourselves have to become data science. We have to build our models, and the built models will target on deploying towards MLOps engineering. I hope that answers your question, Dinesh.
Yes, sir.
And Siddharth, do we need to know when we are developing the models about the machine learning, we also need to know the data ingestion or data cleaning or anything related to the data engineering?
No, I would say that is not required because we are making the system even more complex. So the best answer for this question is, after everything, the data that you collected, that is where the entire process starts. So we will not go into data collection, data transformation. No, we will not go into that module, because that is something which is the skill of a data engineer. Data engineer skill, after the data engineering is done, then the machine learning starts. So we should be in the only machine learning page.